to Pop Chat. My name is Annette Tarpley. I'm the founder of the Passionate Poetry. And with me today, I'm very happy to welcome Genevieve Ray. Welcome.
Thank you, Annette, and so lovely to meet you and communicate more with you.
You as well. I've been waiting for this. I'm excited that you're here finally. And it's late in the UK, bless your sweet soul. So, but look at you're sparkling in the nighttime. So you got your sparklies on. So should make
All
you
for you.
feel good.
All for you today. I wanted to go for a little bit of speciality because truly I have been excited about this for weeks.
Very good, very good. So such a pleasure to have you. So what I usually do is have the poets actually introduce themselves instead of me, reading your bio and sounding monotone. So you can animate you and your life much better than I. So whatever you want to divulge about you, I'm going to give the stage to you, darling.
Thank you so much, Annette. Well, hi everybody. I'm Genevieve Ray. I'm definitely in the UK. Didn't realise until now that rhymes. I have been working in the poetry sphere, and I guess working would be the right sort of statement here for the last 4 years. Previous to being part of spoken word and poetry, I was in theatre as a director, a writer, a playwright, and some acting. How I came to this place in which I am a writer was the pandemic came through. I wrote a piece after George Floyd's passing that kind of exploded. People who I've known for years went, "You write? What is this?" And from there, it has just kept happening. And I want to lean on something beautiful from Annette that it is a working practice that I invest as much time as possible. I have taught young people in Luton and Bedfordshire. I've engaged with mentored people from across the world, from Bhutan to Africa to America. I have performed at live events. I have performed hosting online, been part of festivals. I have done quotes in books and written forewords, all of these amazing things that are part of our community. And yet, still, to release my first collection eventually, I believe that my role in poetry is to help foster change and encourage as many young, and when I say young, I mean anyone new to the art, to invest time in being able to speak for their own voices, because the opportunities that have availed to me through investing, giving, and being part of the community are so numerous. Taking a second to even refresh and look at them, I've done things that I dreamed of when I was 14, and yet they come and more comes. And the biggest part at this point is I am looking at helping to invest in a new network, and I will say very closely what this is because I'm not to say all of it yet, to improve access for people across the UK so that they can get into the spoken word scene. And that's as much as I'm allowed to say for now. And that's me.
That is wonderful. Well, we will talk a little bit after the show because we there share similarities in that I think both of us want to massively enhance poetry, you know, in our societies, right? So,
Absolutely that.
yeah, that's wonderful. Kudos to you. I did not know that about you. Look at you. Look at you go, girl. So I love that. Love it.
That's
What
what that's I was gonna say that's why I look up to you, Annette. Exactly what you do.
Yeah,
Exactly what you do.
I have a lot of admiration for all those who really try to promote other artists and really promote poetry. I don't know if it's taken such a backseat in the UK as it has in the United States, but I don't feel like it's infused in our society. Does it? Do you feel like it's kind of taken a backseat in the UK?
I think in a way it feels very segmented, if I'm honest. There is the poetry people find in education. There's the poetry of, expressing that first deep love when you're 14. And I saw a post recently actually on Instagram, the last time I was on it, with someone saying, "Oh, what if people found the poem that you wrote when you were 14 and released it to the world? What would happen?" And I was like, I had some bangers back then. I wrote better then than I do now. Now I'm more self-conscious.
Oh,
um, but it's like that kind of thing. And then it depends if you want to take it further down. But what I have found, and it really means the world to me, is I speak to friends who've been my friends for 6, 7, 12 years who pick up a pen now. And the pandemic is part of that. I don't really take any part of
Gosh,
that. And
yeah.
they're writing, and it's beautiful stuff.
Isn't it
It's
great?
really good stuff. So, yeah, I think it's treated as a secondary form. We do have a really great spoken word scene and a particularly really good rap scene, but they aren't seen as part of the literary world at all. They're just like over there, and I don't think that's fair. I really
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Yeah, we definitely need to talk a little later. So, uh, yeah, that's great. Well, I'm very excited to hear you do your thing. So, if you would grace us with a couple of your pieces, that would be marvelous. I'm going to give the stage back to you, darling, and you just go for it.
Absolutely fine. And I've queued up a few pieces. I will ask one question, Annette. Are you feeling something a little bit darker or something a little bit brighter? Because I've queued up a few things for you.
I can go both ways today.
Okay. Let's start with something that starts dark and gets lighter. That's all about finding your way back to yourself. Crumbs. Have you ever barked at the moon? Fingernails marred with the traces of your drifting sanity, shame ridden in solitude. Have you checked your fingers, troubled your toes to ensure you're still existing, to be sure you're still known? Have you climbed walls by pure neurology alone, clinging to the crevices while you are on your lonely floor? Have you balanced on pinpricks, pirouetted over volcanoes, answered diplomatic entreaties with a cyclone down your throat? If you've danced with the dreary, reshaping perception by twisting your nose, you have lived my eyes and ears and have my deepest empathy. Be safe now, fear wanderer. Follow the crumbs back home. Kind, entreating arms are welcoming. You are never alone. You are never alone. And that's crumbs. And something darker, but full to the brim of me being a massive dork about Shakespeare. This is Some Ghosts. Some ghosts always follow you. Their wisp footprints dragging your soul back to the last time you saw them alive. Centuries pass, you rebuild your empires, rebuild your fortresses, immortal people keep moving, and eventually you are forced to as well. Some ghosts cannot be trapped by your past. They seep into your present through the hollows of your lost memories, rising up your throat like bile. New homes were sourced, sage smudged over walls. You don't even pass that graveyard anymore. So why have they walked by your headstone? The rising chill of thinking you've escaped that person. Some ghosts never need exercising forever. No puzzle box will hold them, no proton pack, no prayer, no nothing. Sometimes rehaunting yourself the only way forward. So I say this. Come Banquo of days have passed, I call you forward and stand by the tables. You made my life miserable with your grasping. Come on, King Hamlet, I'm ready for this. There is no sin, Jacob Marley, bar not by burning you off sooner. Some ghosts will walk with you until you absorb them. The lesson's already littered by my pages. Now is the time to call your name 3 times and let the nobles see your real face, your real shape. Some ghosts don't disappear. They don't get to eat your future. Let the traces of what they once tried to possess be their very undoing. The chill in the air is yours this time. There we are.
Beautiful. Love it. Yay. Um, just lovely. So great to hear you, your words and you perform your pieces. It's just beautiful. So thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, I like both the sides of it. And you we had an assignment today, which you came up with. And the title you chose was
The passion and the verse.
Passion in the Verse. I'm going to listen to you first. Mine's going to pale in comparison. But I'm going to give the stage back to you because I want to hear what you came up with. I love the title, by the way. Great title.
I was very much thinking about passion for poetry when it came with it. I don't know if mine's particularly strong, but we'll see how it goes. So, passion in the verse. I hear the throb, the distant growl built out of stone summoned from bursting veins, creating fountains of pen ink, foundations at the epicenter of their famous works. It thumps, it thumps, it pounds, whispered under drum beats, pushing against my feet, cut from lost graves, consumed by waves, eviscerating rhetoric, challenging system, sin, and shame. It thumps, it pounds, it pulses, it prays. The verse, the conversation, passion of playwrights, poetry of painters, promises of paragons, parables of philosophers. The verse, the communion of the grieving, the pulpit raising, the lost love of heartache, the prayer built into the concave between two ribs and the edge of human awareness.
Beautiful. Loved it. Great. I went easy. I did mine very last minute. It's been within the last hour that I finished it. So I went rhyming this time. So I tend to be a rhymer, although I've gotten away from rhyming a lot, and I tend to like those pieces better. But mine is called "The Passion of the Verse." Imagine that. And just trying to get it moved over so I can see it. Not all understand the passion of poetry, the soul alit with a writing flame, an inflicted fever of great proportions, with no known vector to blame. There is no known cure aside from writing, no potion or magic remedy. Only inking can soothe what ails thee, solution enshrouded with simplicity. A great relief overcomes the writer. Once to paper his ink spills from pen, then the ailment will surface continuously until his writing surfaces again. His inner soul finds solace and relief when he performs that which he loves. His spirit will then fill with a peace as his sigh mimics a morning dove. The elation he feels when writing is so intense, some may view it as a curse. Yet few words can describe the feeling for the poet's passion and the verse. Oh, thank you. I think I was half asleep when I wrote it. But I appreciate it.
It's go for it. Sorry, Annette, I don't mean to interrupt you. Please carry on.
No, I'm just trying to get back to you. I got to get rid of this screen so I can see your beautiful face again. So forgive me. Now I can see it. Okay. Thank you.
I call that one of those embracing pieces. If that came in a flash in the last minute, it comes off as elegantly as if it has taken 10 years to write. I felt that.
Oh, well,
Gorgeous.
thank you. That is a true compliment. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Are there any other writers or people with artistic abilities in your family?
I feel like in segments like my they're gonna kill me. This will be the last you hear of me today. But literally, like my dad is a fantastic line art drawer, and he will say, "Oh no, I'm all right, I'm all right." Then literally, so I have two nieces, and my little niece will be like, "Grandpa, draw me something," and it's like, "Woomph, there's a runner bean," because I need to tell a dad joke, and it's a very well effective runner bean. Um, and he used to, all of a sudden he's going to kill me. He used to get bored sometimes in meetings, and I could always tell because he'd come back with a pad of paper about this big, which is for notes, and it would just be filled with art,
Oh, wow.
endless amounts of it.
So
My
he's
mum,
sitting in meetings doodling around with his artwork.
he's retired now, so he's not going to get any trouble for that. But like, and then I feel like my mum has always been the world's most incredible organizer. Like I feel like so many of the skills of putting things together, planning for things, and she just has this ability both in sewing and cake making and pulling people together. Like she always beautifies. once again, she'd never say it, but
Wow.
it so. And my sister is an incredible photographer and drawer. She's taken some of the drawing skill from dad.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel so. Whether they would say so is another thing, but I feel so.
You have creativity flowing through your veins from all that. That's great. I love that. Do you do anything else artistic wise as far as other than well, I mean you act too, so that's an art form as well. But do you do anything else? Do you paint, draw yourself? Anything like
Um, I wish I could draw. I think like a lot of writers, if I could draw, I probably wouldn't write. But
that?
the um, I'm an okay singer. I've utilized it sometimes just to kind of be like, hey, look, here's some verse.
Yeah.
I put me actually on like a stage, and if I haven't kind of got something I can rely on, and my hand tends to shake, which I find very embarrassing and very Eminem. But I can in theory do that. It's some dancing, and I love doing it. But I think writing is the epicenter. It like keeps coming back. I feel. How
Yeah,
about yourself, actually?
you paint with your words, So yeah, I think writing is a great thing. I also use the word choreograph a lot with writing. We kind of choreograph our words and perfect placement and so forth. So yeah, writing does lend to a lot, and we are. I think. Do you feel like writing is something that you're blessed with and is innate, or do you feel like it is something that you can learn?
I think both. And I've recently engaged a fantastic person who's been giving me guidance and coaching to improve what I would say like the technicality, the literary side. And it's like for me right now with him, it feels very much like being in front of a piano and sort of like I'm sitting there and I'm relearning chopsticks and stuff like that. But yeah, and a very different friend once said, and I'm going to see if I can quote him exactly on this. I'm pulling from my memory directly here. um, it feels as if it kind of speaks through you. And I think he was onto something long, 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 long before ever trying to put it into verse. I used to tell myself bedtime stories when I couldn't sleep because I was a nightmare for my poor parents. So I'd sit there and I'd just construct fantasy stories, but I could never like commit to one story, which is when I realized I was never going to be a novelist because it's like, whoa, 300 pages, not a chance. I get too bored. But yeah, I feel like the instantaneousness of just here's an idea and here's an idea and here's an idea and she's just said that and he's just said that.
So, have
It
you written short stories before?
Yeah, when I was younger, yeah, I did. They are lost in some form of the archives, but they were at best probably about 100 pages
Yeah,
initially. Yeah,
you can
and
pick it up again. I just started writing short stories a year ago, but I have seven published, so you can do it.
I'd love to
Yeah,
relearn. Oh, what's that?
yeah, yeah. In fact, I just did a TikTok one last night. I put one on TikTok, but it I wish I would have put that one on. I could do it so much better than I did. I was kind of tired when I did it. But so you said something you said something about that you can sing, and do you ever infuse that into your poetry?
I do. I'm so conscious of doing it because I feel like I'm trying to show off, and it's really not for that. It's like when I feel like enhancement. But so there's a poem I've got called "Coffee Break," and it's got two parts to it. One of like meeting up for coffee and thinking, "Oh, is this date gonna go okay?" And then the second one, which is apparently went all right. Um, basically about going into too much detail of the story, and I do
Would you
like
do it tonight? Would you do it?
I got to find it. I didn't set that one up, but I have got my Facebook, so I could. Actually, give me two
Yeah,
seconds.
because
Let me go look at.
I love that when that happens. I love listening to that. That would be wonderful.
Okay, give me all of 2 seconds while I speed run find it. Yes, I could. But the that one I tend to, if I can find it in time, I tend to try and start it with the line, "How do you like your eggs in?" Oh no, I'm off tune. How do you like your eggs in the morning? I like mine with a kiss. and just to kind of get into it.
Yeah.
That's like the top end of what I do with it, really. Right, I might need to do one quick thing, which is reset Facebook because it's got a bit stuck because
While
it's
you
a
do
lot.
that, and I'm going to go to the comments while you're
Brilliant, go
doing
for
that. So that will be a good filler. So we have
it.
Michael Dulake here. And Michael's from the UK. I've been so looking forward to Genevieve's interview. Did you know Michael?
I do. He is
Yeah,
a sweetheart.
he
I've
is. Yes, he is indeed. And evening, Genevieve. Congratulations, honey. Hello, Annette. Do you know you know Stuart? Dan?
yes.
That's
Oh,
Stuart Dan, also from the UK. This is Invasions of the Brits tonight here.
like guys, what are you still doing up? Go to sleep. Yeah.
And
Oh,
Michael Dulake, one of my best friends in poetry. This lady has such a beautiful heart and has inspired me with encouragement. Kudos to you. Look at you inspiring. That's great. Hi everyone, Annette Tarpley. Hello. Don't forget to sign your pieces so we know who you are. That says awesome. I'm pretty sure that's from Stu. That's his signature, the rose. And then we have Michael Anthony Ingram. Hi, Michael. Incredible Genevieve. Yes, incredible. Incredible. Yes, Michael is a marvelous man as well as writer and poet. So good. I've watched his probably 3 times now his interview because I just love listening to him. Fabulous, thank you, and then beautiful Annette, and then we got wonderful Genevieve, and we have spot on Jen. I wish I could draw, but I can't. So I called my poetry painting with words, indeed. And then we have I write songs with lyrics all the time, also. And then we have I love this, and blues is a lot easier to write. And we have I like I sing like seagull. Is that good or bad, Genevieve? I don't know. What is that?
I think this is the thing. I found. Oh, yes, I've got him. I've got him. What I'm trying to do, if it will
And then
let
somebody
me.
says they're from Scotland. So hey, from Scotland. Look at all the people in the UK up late tonight.
I'm so touched. The guys, it's like, well, I mean, I'm just touched that people have sort of sat in. I'm like, and they're all people that mean the world. This is literally earlier on in that I wrote like it was more of a I don't know if it was a manifesto. I don't know what it was. I just let the thing come out. Like this community, I've never known the like who so support each other, and it is like literally worldwide. It blows my mind, and I love them all. So I'm so
I
touched.
do too. It's everybody. So I mean, these are my friends in this community, and I don't. Everybody lives so far away. I can't like go out to lunch or dinner with them. So, but at least we can meet this way and talk and see each other. So it's wonderful too.
I
But
think I was going to say, have you found as well though that people since pandemic times are actually trying when they're in country,
yeah.
they try and meet each other. It's so gorgeous. Like I've
It was my savior during the pandemic. 'Cause I'm single, you know, I'm alone, so I have really little to no human contact, and it's difficult when you're alone. People with families and have people in the household, at least they probably got sick of it, I suppose, after a while. but 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 my hairy daughters don't talk to me a whole lot, you know. So but I'm gonna give the stage back to you because you found it, right?
I have. So I will I'll give you the one that has that and I'll attach it. So literally let's go for it. So this is coffee breakfast 2. So the date's gone pretty well. How do you like your ex's hazy morning? The hours lost in the folds of faded green cotton, counting the line depths in your curved fingers as they meld with my digits, the ghost scent of romance. A teenage dare of movement. Who's going to leave the comfort first? The intimate human moment, breaking the fast of solitude. If we sizzle the morning foods far past the single hours, do we commit to continuation, bringing in the expectations of tomorrow? Coffee compromise, no commitments. A long day shower fills the room, lengthening the hour into the noon. No words, no troubles, just lattes. Monday, maybe some honesty. That this is fine for breakfast. Is it dinner and family worthy? Happy with some burnt eggs and late mornings.
Oh, love that. Love it, love it. And I like that little extra infusion of the music. It kind of spin on it, so I love that. Is that the only piece you have like that where you do that?
At the moment, it's something I'm developing. I'm mostly kind of worried that if I don't do it right, I'm gonna get done for copyright. And then like the first half of the poem just goes like that. I'm
Oh,
like, ooh.
oh,
So yes, at the moment, it's something I'm playing with. I never intended to do it. I used to live with this incredible, and we're still very very close friends, lady Ashley, who brought me to Singology. And hey, Singology guys, if you end up watching this, which was a gospel choir. And we used to be taught sort of gospel singing, and that was some of the best times when I was living in London.
yeah,
And it feels like just bringing some of that past back into it a little bit.
that's nice. I love that. Love that. So, is there anything that that you think that we could do beyond what we're doing to promote poetry? Is there anything you can think of that we can do?
I think there is many ways to make it more accessible. And it's so funny because when I say accessible, there are more ways than ever to just join in. You can attach yourself to Common Full, put pictures on your thing. You've mentioned beautifully your TikTok. TikTok poets are a whole thing now. There's people who sit there and do podcasts, and so processing and like medium to do it more
Yeah,
than it's ever been. I think the issue is self permission. Like so many people I've spoken to have gone, oh, I don't. Is this? And you're like, well, it's you.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
only build from you. You can't apologize for experiences you've never had. You can read up, and I think one of the most essential is if you're a poet and you don't read, and whatever reading means to you, that can be audio, that can be whatever.
right.
It's very hard to improve. I feel like I've learned a mass from some of the names you mentioned,
Yeah,
being and sitting in their work and them sending me stuff. I have learned to be a better artist through that than I ever have done if I just sat there with a pen forever.
yeah, yeah.
But it,
Well,
it is,
I think that this medium too, I mean, where we sit here and listen to poets, if people watch this, well, that's like reading in that you're being exposed to other work and other talents and other ways of writing. And it's always so refreshing to find each person's little kind of niche in the poetry world. We each have our talents, and so it's wonderful. Do you still do theater?
yeah, I've literally, truly, I've moved into the back. I am producing a one woman show. Not my one woman show, but amazing lady Nina's show called Renegades. And it has been, and it all came this year. Nina's show and working with her has been some of the most beautiful things I've done this year. It makes me so happy.
Well,
Um,
you're producing it. Is that what you said?
so
Nice.
communicating with theatres, festivals, talking to partners and opportunities, discussing as she builds out the whole costume
Yeah,
and design of it all. It's so much fun. It's so much fun, and I love doing it, and I love watching her take the piece further and further because she's been working on it for a few years, and it's grown and grown and grown, and being at this point of the journey,
yeah,
it's a pleasure, and I've learned so much from her.
yeah. That's wonderful. Do you think that poetry is your passion?
I think it is definitely the strum inside my heart. I've
Yeah,
I talk to myself far too much as it is. I would now just put it with a pen. But frankly,
yeah,
it is the easiest to pull on and often the thing that has comforted me when my mental health has not been great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
That's what got me back into poetry writing. Was I when I went through a divorce 6 or 7 years ago, and I wrote my getting divorced ticked off poem, and everybody, I know by heart because it's my therapy, And people are like, "Oh my gosh, you have that published," I made men cry and women cry, and men tend to think it's sad, but women see the strength in it because in the end, I'm strong. So it is what it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's interesting. Do you ever do fiction in your poetry?
So can you say that again for me? I just crackled a bit.
Do you do fiction or stories in your poetry?
Yeah, actually, when I started, that was very much what I did. Like, it's weird. It's now become like more like directly reflective, but yeah, very much so. Uh, Trying to take, I guess, those short stories and turn them into sort of verse pieces. But I have done it in a while. I kind of miss it. It transferred and transformed about a year and a bit ago, and stopped doing that so much. And I don't really know why, but it just kind of
Yeah,
like that.
I used to tell a lot more stories too. I do enjoy that. I think I did one recently, but I like doing that. Because you usually have to use a lot of imagery and everything else. We have more comments. They're chatty back here. Let me see what else they're saying. Somebody said his name. You can't see Thomas McCarthy. I don't know if you're the one from Scotland. Not sure. And this says, always going to be worth staying awake for. Oh, look at he thinks you're worth staying awake for, Genevieve.
Charmer.
That's Stewart. That's Stewart because that's the roses. There's his signature. So your program is top notch. I recommend you. Thank you, Bravo. I appreciate that. My poems always contain the word for. I've noticed the word ghost in your poems.
I'm so glad someone just called me out on it because I'm like, for those three poems, I was like, what is it with me and ghosts? It's spooky season. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, it is that season, though, isn't it? My poems a lot of times contain the word. Okay, I'm sorry, same one. Actually, that was put up there twice, so it wasn't my fault. It was up there twice. I love your uniqueness, Genevieve. Now and again, we meet amazing, unique poets, and you fall into that category. It is still a catch to catch the attention of the audience. You do it with ease. Indeed. What a lovely compliment. Yeah, I know. They're even poetic in their compliments, aren't they? Thomas McCarthy, have you ever been? Oh, they're talking amongst themselves. And then
Oh,
I concur, Michael, beautiful soul indeed. So thank you for all your comments, y'all.
thank you so
So
much.
y'all probably don't, you don't probably don't say y'all in England, I don't imagine, do you?
We don't, but I wish we did because I think it's a perfect term, and I also like y'all. I think which is just
Y'all,
gorgeous.
y'all. I do that sometimes too, y'all.
Love it.
I'm from the Midwest originally, and we didn't say y'all. We say it in the South. We said you guys.
Hey,
Yeah. And then I came here and I couldn't say y'all. I said you all. So it took me a while to transition to y'all. Then finally you just think it's so much easier to just say y'all. It's almost like yeah, one syllable, y'all
it's
versus
it has a nice roll to it. I love it.
yeah. So, Grace, what's more of your work? I'm going to give you the stage again, and I want to hear some more. And
Absolutely.
here you go, darling.
Um, because he has been in the audience or commented, I'm gonna have to do Michael's favourite. This is Michael Ingram. Michael, because I performed it for the first time on his show. He really loved it, so I'm gonna have to do it again. And this is Free Roaming Adult Woman. Blood test booking, aubergine cooking, meeting leading, potato peeling, off the leash, hands to the ceiling. I am a free roaming adult woman. Mortgage managing, calendar haggling, boss creating, boss commanding, lover philia, curly girl de rigueur. I am a free roaming adult woman. Flouncy peaking, one bedroom kingdom, over talk the walk, walk talk the trading, up for the moonlight, bored of the hay babies. I am a free roaming adult woman, grateful for the side looks, growing to understand the sadness, paying back the lessons, becoming hard in the madness, future completely open door, Jane Doe to the chances. I am a free roaming adult woman. Try and rap because it's tough, writing new diamonds in the rough, falling in love with the gaps between the laser guided stanzas, liking my femme, my funk, masculinity as it hammers. I am a free roaming adult woman. I'm free forming. Struggle to get up in the morning. Shh. Chat your ear off if you let me. In jokes about Mayor Angelou lines, if you get me. Free flowing, free spirited, 5G roaming, grown up woman. Annette, do you want me to go into another one, or shall I stop with just there?
Well, we'll talk about that one, and then so I can understand why it's Michael's favorite. That is a great poem. It really is very strong and encouraging for us women that are strong. And what I love about that is Michael loves that. So that tells us what that Michael likes strong women, I guess. So, yeah,
I
yeah.
I I I think so. He was like, hey, you did it too fast. Do it again. I was like, okay. But it is absolutely for all the women out there who know that they fight every day and enjoy the fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead
Um,
and do a couple more.
no problem. So this is called trance, and it's literally about what it feels to write. Trance. 6 minutes, the full 360 seconds to find the epicenter, some form of meaning. 6 minutes, I feel my mind floating. The wonder as words become pictures, pictures become feelings. 6 minutes. Half lidded eyes, headphones slightly tinny, darkening my room, keeping the water with me. 6 minutes there, found between beat 1 and beat 50. The guitarist sighs before the harmony. Pause. Tap fingers. Motion out a symphony. Recapturing a soloist's tears. Why does that remind me of home? 6 minutes. Countdown now as the seconds drop away and the timer moves slowly. Digital sands falling. 6 minutes. 5 breaths slowly. 4 shifts of the body. 3 presses of the volume. 2 blinks and suddenly one piece finished completely. Awaken, edit, done.
Love it.
And lastly, for now, I wrote a piece deliberately because people kept saying, "Oh, yeah, what was your first poem? What was your first poem?" And like as a poem, and I realized something kind of sad but beautiful. This is for eulogies. For eulogies. A line asked all the time, "What was your first poem?" The truth reflected, a truth accepted. It was a eulogy. For eulogies, for songs about the lost. My writing career has been encouraged by offering catharsis when words are all we got. For eulogies, for songs for the lost. 2 were for my family, 2 were for my identity, the sense of family in ethnicity, ancestors, and who we are. 4 eulogies, 4 songs for the lost. 2 requested by my kin, 2 drawn out by the world, needing and keening and trying to understand. 4 eulogies, 4 songs for the lost. Hours bent in research, trying to ensure that notes were in key and the truths met with love. 4 eulogies, 4 songs for the lost. 2 written before a title, 2 written after a naming, before I knew I was a poet, just a sad person with pretty words. 4 eulogies, for songs for the lost. Large feelings and big sensations are still what draws the pen, not a need to be heard or creative, wails against the walls of existence. 4 eulogies, for songs for the lost. Finding the right story in some form of remembrance, move towards literary deep dives and teaching art to others. 4 eulogies, for songs for the lost. One day it will be mine. Half etched into stone, half spoken in rhyme, I welcome the words of those I love so dearly, and whoever feels the deep sorrow of loss.
Wow, I love that. I love that repetitiveness. Very well constructed. Love that. Wonderful. So, it's very cathartic, isn't it, writing? Yeah. How often do you write?
Probably at least a little bit a day. I would say seriously, whatever seriously means, sort of like every week at least. I'll try and sort of construct something I want to utilize further, but
Yeah. Yeah.
tiny bits every day.
And then how do you do it? Do you do it on the computer, your phone, a piece of paper? How do you write?
This poor friend has been thrown so often. My handwriting's pretty messy, so unfortunately I'm not the most best for pen. But yeah, usually on my phone.
Wow.
Sometimes on the computer. Depends on kind of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. I've had a few times, including the time I wrote "I'm Getting Divorced" poem, because the first piece I wrote I lost because I think I fall asleep with my fingers on it and then everything goes away. Not like I'm on my computer, I can do Control Z, which nobody knows that you're on the computer, everything disappears. Control Z is in zebra, gets everything back, which is almost as important as knowing copying and pasting.
Absolutely.
Control Z, boom, is back. So, this is a question I ask everyone that comes on, and so you're no exception. And you come across Aladdin's lamp tomorrow, and you are granted 3 wishes. What are you going to wish for?
Oh, good question. No one's yeah. Ooh, okay. Okay. Lance Lamp. I'm guessing there's no tricks because we know
There's
these kind of these are like.
no tricks, and it can be anything you want, anything. So whatever you want.
First off the bat, I wish I want to create a fund for new creatives. So if it was to be literally as tomorrow, I would be part of a board of trustees who would take applications from people who wanted to improve resources for creatives who particularly are in the midst of working through their mental health needs and
Nice.
need that accessing. I just that would straight out.
Yeah.
Um, if the wish allows the talent to come with it, I would have a brick and mortar drama school, but I wouldn't necessarily be one of the teachers. I think 18 incredible teachers from
Yeah.
dance teachers, physical performers, comedians. If I could help them to run the training courses that they have done and wanted for years and talk to me under beautiful moonlight and with wine glasses and just went boom and there it was
Yeah.
done, I'd literally just shove the name on it for the ambit pentameter, keep an eye on the trustee board, and then kind of like let them do the stuff. I don't need to teach. And it's a genie thing, so I'm gonna go for it. I would love to talk to the UN.
Tell me about that. Mm.
God, this is really bringing it out from the middle of my soul. Oh
Yeah.
God,
Tell me
and
about
it's gonna be recorded too. Okay,
it. It's okay.
I
People
I
might
would.
need to hear it. People might need to hear it.
There is so I'm in the midst of the process, not almost to the end of like a 90s computer going the whole NHS process of having my neurodiversity recognised. And through that, writing has been my soul saver, and I want to pay that back. Incredible people across the mental health sphere, across the NHS, and all the rest of it. I know, thanks to the incredible community we are part of, even the time it has taken me and the struggle of over 4 or 5 years, I am lucky to even have the opportunity.
Yeah.
It should not be a postcode lottery. It should not be something that people have to fight for. And I think millions and millions of people in our community, somewhere along those lines, or somewhere along of needing support, that writing gives them the ability to recognize themselves. And I just to talk, to stop, to listen,
Yeah.
and let whoever was in attendance talk about their country and their people and their culture and their art,
Yeah.
and then ask the most vital question in silence, and then maybe if the genie makes me just kind of poof, like disappears, let them deal with that. To just say, and what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. You know, I doing psychiatry. I don't know if I'm doing it again, but I encourage writing, and I have all that excessive energy with depression and anxiety, and if you can funnel it into something positive like writing, it's a great thing. I did drug rehab about a year ago, and one of the girls said, "I gotta leave. I gotta start using it." I said, "Let's go write," because when she came in, she said she was a poet. So we wrote something called "I'm Your Addiction." It's on YouTube. I'm Your Addiction is in the beginning, it's going to be addiction talking. It's going to have the strength and power. And in the end, it's going to reverse and it's going to go to you. You're going to have the strength and power. So I use it all the time. And I frequently, about 3 patients I saw this week, I recited a line from Desiderata, famous poem Desiderata, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born, fatigue, and loneliness. And beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here. So I do that all the time, and always encourage them a lot. Most of these people are drug addicts and things like that, and I just really I believe that everybody needs to know their importance, worth. They have purpose in life, right? Yeah.
I the biggest kudos to you, Annette, honestly. When we started communicating, it said, I'm not going to tell very many people about this, but it's not a secret. And then put the stuff on Facebook, and we went, "Oh, you wait till Annette tells you about what she's done." And I was like, "I can't wait." Thank you.
Oh, I try because many of all of us to a certain extent have issues with self-esteem or worth, usually fueled by negative things we encountered in life, and but it's important for us to be encouraging and to let everybody know they have their place. And if you OD tons of times and you're still here, you have purpose. There's a reason why you're here, right?
This is a
You're here. So I'm going to give the stage back to you, darling. You're going to give us some more of beautiful Genevieve. So why don't you do 3 poems and then we'll come back and chat for a while.
perfect. I am going to read one that was in Flora Fiction, and I'm also going to pull on my Facebook again, actually, because I need to have some prepped and rolling. So bear with me while I do that as well. There we go. So we'll start. So this piece appeared in Flora Fiction this year, and it's called "Let's Fall in Love." I have felt the inches between our hands, the electric charge as we move in unison, fingers caressing the air, prickling heat waves, temperatures rising as a word died on our lips. Galaxies emerge in the depths of a pupil, charting each other's star maps. Our auras are melding, the colours intensify as we give birth to something else. Sunlight turning amber, synchronized by the morning chorus, raindrops tap out your name, harmonizing gently at the end of a breath, joined in the forgotten lyric, the delicate table tennis made of half court glances, reflecting our growing anticipation. Let's fall in love. We've been descending for just under a decade to gain stability as we fall ever forward, accepting our emotional reality. And the next piece, and that's going to take me a second to bring it up, comes from this, and I need to put it up here. And thank you, Annette, also for putting it in the trailer. I was part of Will's Song Poetry Anthology 3 and was one of the editors. It was so much fun. So many things to read, an incredible amount to read. But if I can just pull it on, just grabbing the right page, I will read you one of my works from here. Just bear me a second while I just bring it up. There we go. Sorry for the hold up, everybody. Just want to catch my page. Here we go. Disengage. We are free to disengage, turning into nothing, our handprints washed by time, clean of each other, empty of lost palms. We are free to disengage. Distant whistles, latent notions, fresh spring courtships, clean slate passions, new reckonings. We are free to disengage. The chance encounter may lead to a nod, a smile for kindness, sidestep dance, racing to new futures, more pressing responsibilities. We are free and slowly disengage, forgetting lawn trees, speckled shadows, any lingering feelings in the slow sadness, the end of a friendship. And lastly, as I scan on up, broken birdcage. Window pane bars that capture sunlight, square shaped crosses reflecting new trees, and wind swept trash from the main road. Broken birdcage. The hidden space, a box for feared things. Pandora keeps her quiet in the distance. Heavy looking white door, light as kite material. Soft bluster moves as it hangs against hand me down hinges. Broken birdcage. The hidden space, a box of feared things. Pandora keeps her quiet distance. Tumult cube frames, neglected vessel, watching shaking neighbour hands underserve, underengage, feeling like an ogre with an angel's voice. Broken birdcage. The hidden space, a box of feared things. Pandora hoping and keeping her distance. The furies build, the burning eyes have caused thunder moments, a dangerous temper under the tears, a day away from storm. Broken birdcage. Ready to burn, refusing to sink Pandora under the milestones, a glorious friend found. Broken birdcage. Ready to burn and burn, anger surfacing, first on hot, itchy skin, and finally melting into furious, bent metal.
Beautiful. Love it. I'm so blessed to have you here and to be finally introduced to your poetry. It's just marvelous. And definitely have your place in our world, don't you? Broken Bird Cage, just beautiful. Resonated so much, somebody said. And oh, look what Stu says. This is my favorite interview yet. He said that the other day about somebody. Now he's changing over to you. He's switched over to Genevieve. I truly wish you every success in all your future endeavors. Bless you. And that's from Stu. So thank
Stu?
you, Stu. He's ever faithful and good about watching. So thanks, Stu, for being there. Do you have anything that you would like to say to the poets and poetry community? Do you have any words of wisdom or advice? Or somebody who might be struggling with writing, you want to give them advice?
Perish the thought to feel like I can give advice, but I shall. There's a great line from Erica Ishii, and I can't remember what it is now, which is like, I aim not to tell, but only to guide. But or something along those lines that they said. First off, to the community, thank you, mercy, danke, Sia Borga, and so, I messed that one there, but things I never thought possible for my life exist because of this community. It is gratefulness. And for those who know Dimension 20, it's clear that I'm quite a big fan. Brennan Lee Mulligan said it best: I live in bemused gratefulness, never expecting anything of things, surprised at how much has arrived. To suggestion, I feel like the bit from the bit from Sister Act 2 of like read the book, letters to a young poet comes to mind here. But I guess this three things I've told students before. Thing number one: you cannot improve upon a skill you never practice. Try and kill the ego, and moreover the voice of the teacher who was the meanest to you about your writing, and the critic who is never kind to you, and merely recognize, and beautifully said earlier, I can't remember whose line it was, of like, I notice Flora comes up in my writing often, Ghost comes up in yours. That pattern noticing
Yeah.
is beautiful. Point two, read in whatever reading means to you. And I'm trying to be open to the idea, to all the sort of different accessibility needs people may have, but in whatever way you can absorb writing, and all types of writing. And I'm going to lean on Annette's point earlier about short stories and monologues and whatever form it is. Collate. You cannot improve on information you don't have. And lastly, if you aim to, I said this to, oh my god, I said this to my writing tutor. If you aim purely to learn, you cannot lose. And this comes more from my father, which is self statement and self praise is no regard. Take it more from what you know, because you are not the person you were but even a year ago. And if you take the time to go back for your writing, you'll notice the changes. And that is the best I can offer.
That's beautiful. Such great, insightful wisdom. Lots of wisdom that you just shared with them as far as the journey into writing, and it's wonderful. Great advice. Huh, who knew you could be the Dear Abby of Great Britain? You probably don't even know who Dear Abby is because you're too young and American thing. She had an advice column. People would write into her and she give them her advice, you know. So that's Dear Abby. And this says beautifully said, exactly. Um, and this is a broken bird cage, just beautiful, resonated so much. So I think you've really touched the hearts of many people tonight, and sure many people tuning in and joining this later in the recorded version. Make sure everybody shares it with everybody. So it was a great interview and such beautiful poetry. So I'm a Genevieve fan, so I'm on the Genevieve bandwagon. So but thank you so much for agreeing to come on and for being so eloquent and gracious and sharing your beautiful words and talents with us tonight.
Honestly, Annette, I have been, as I said, for this entirety of month, so excited to meet you, honoured to listen to you, and so moved to connect today. Um, Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to get to know you and to share work with you. You are truly a paragon in our community.
Thank you. It was truly a blessing. Love and blessings to everyone. I always do this heart thing, so I don't know how far it gets, but love and blessings to everyone. Keep watching, keep encouraging, keep writing, everyone, and keep sharing your works with others. Don't be so selfish and keep it to yourself, you know. So, thank you so much again, beautiful Genevieve,
Thank
and
you.
truly a blessing to have you here. Love and blessings to everyone again, and we'll see you next time on Pop Chat. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Everyone, bye.